What does Biafra mean?
It means freedom, liberty, fairness, equity, and justice.
In practical terms, these are very good sounding words, but in practical terms, what does Biafra mean?
Confederation.
So, a weak center,
very weak,
very strong regions.
Absolutely.
Have you had a change of mind, therefore, about getting an independent Biafra? Because that's what I seem to be hearing.
No, I've not changed my mind, no. An independent Biafra means going back to the way we were before the white man came.
Okay, so you're not talking about a federation when you say a confederation. You're not talking about a federation as part of Nigeria. You're talking about total independence.
Absolute independence.
Complete independence. Now, is there anything that can happen that will make you change your mind about this particular direction?
No.
So it is either Biafra or nothing else?
Or death, yes.
Or death.
There is a moment in every struggle when the man at the center of it stops sounding like an activist and starts sounding like a verdict. That moment came when Nnamdi Kanu sat down and spoke about Biafra, and what he said left no room for negotiation, no room for compromise, and no room for any outcome other than the one he has chosen to pursue until his last breath. This is not a man issuing threats. This is a man announcing a conclusion. Kanu was asked what Biafra means. His answer was swift: freedom, liberty, fairness, equity, justice. But he did not stop at poetry. He went further and defined it structurally, describing a confederation model where the center would be extremely weak and the regions would hold overwhelming power. He was then asked the direct question that every interviewer eventually asks him: has he changed his mind about seeking full independence? His answer was equally direct: no. He has not changed his mind. Biafra, as he envisions it, means returning to the state that existed before British colonization reshaped the map of this land. It is not a federation within Nigeria. It is not a restructured arrangement inside the current constitutional order. It is complete, total, and absolute independence. The interviewer pressed further: is there anything, any development, any concession, any reform that could make him reverse course? His answer came without hesitation: nothing. Either Biafra is achieved or death claims him first. He said it plainly: Biafra or death. He did not dramatize it. He stated it the way a man states a fact he has long since come to peace with. But here is where the conversation became more layered. He was asked whether he would go to war to achieve this goal. He said no. He was firm about it. War is not the path he has chosen, and his reason was not weakness or fear. He said truth is a far more potent and deadlier weapon than bullets and mortars. This is a man who has staked his entire existence on the power of information, on broadcasting, on reaching the minds of millions of people across the world, and he genuinely believes that this force is stronger than any military option. The interviewer then raised the possibility of a sovereign national conference, the idea that if every ethnic nationality in Nigeria were gathered together to determine the kind of country they collectively want to build, would Kanu be open to it? He gave an honest answer. He said he might have been able to submit to such a process at one point, but he added two words that shut the door completely: too late. He said it is way too late. Too many people have been killed. Too many lives have been ruined. Too many souls have been wasted. He asked a question that has no comfortable answer: how do we bring those people back? The issue of trust came up. He referenced the Aberi Accord, which was negotiated in 1967 and produced nothing meaningful. He referenced the Confab report and asked what became of it. He referenced the 3Rs, reconciliation, reconstruction, and rehabilitation, promised after the Civil War ended, and asked what became of them. His argument is straightforward. The Nigerian federal government has had every opportunity to keep faith with its promises and has chosen, repeatedly and consistently, to betray them. He no longer trusts the process because the process has never delivered. One of the more pointed moments in the conversation came when the interviewer raised a criticism that is often made against the agitation movement. The argument is that the poverty and underdevelopment facing the Igbo in the southeast is the same poverty facing people in Bayelsa, in Kogi, in every corner of Nigeria, and that the real problem is governance rather than ethnicity. Kanu agreed with the diagnosis. He said he agrees completely that the suffering is shared, that governance is broken across the board. But he argued that agreement on the problem does not mean agreement on the solution. The way he wants to solve the problem, he said, is fundamentally different from how others might approach it. He framed it not as an ethnic struggle, but as a difference in value systems. He was then asked about the geographical scope of Biafra. This is a question that has always generated controversy because the movement has historically laid claim to territories beyond the 5 southeastern states. Kanu laid it out. He named Rivers State, Bayelsa, Delta, Anambra, Imo, Enugu, Ebonyi, Abia, Cross River, Akwa Ibom, and parts of Kogi State and Kwara, including the Benue Ways. He said the referendum would determine the outcome in each of these areas. It would not be his decision alone. One man, one vote. The interviewer challenged him on Rivers State specifically, noting that the governor had publicly rejected the idea of being included in any such referendum. Kanu's response was that no governor, no single official, and no one person has the authority to decide for an entire people. The people must vote. The people must speak. And he expressed confidence that the majority across these territories want the referendum to happen. He made a point about reception. He had been in Iguiocha the previous day and described the welcome he received as overwhelming. People were delighted to see him. He said the crowd that turned out for him told a story that no politician or actress, however famous, could easily replicate in that same environment. He was not being arrogant. He was making an argument about organic popularity, about the depth of feeling that exists on the ground, beyond what media coverage or elite opinion can fully capture. What this interview reveals is a man who has moved beyond the stage of seeking validation. Nnamdi Kanu is not asking anyone to agree with him. He is not lobbying. He is not negotiating. He is declaring. And whether one agrees with his position or finds it troubling, the clarity of his conviction is something that cannot be dismissed. The question Nigeria now faces is not whether Kanu will change his mind. He has answered that question. The question is what the country intends to do with a generation of people who believe him.